Theo, you seem lost in thought today. What weighs so heavily on your mind?
I have been thinking about free will. I believe we possess it.
Ah, Theo, a bold claim indeed, but tell me, what do you mean by free will?
By free will, I mean that each person has the power to make choices independently of any external forces or constraints. We are the masters of our own actions.
I see. And do you believe that every choice we make is entirely free from any external influence?
Yes. While external factors may play a role, the ultimate decision rests with us.
But if external factors play a role, then can we truly say that the choice is entirely free from any external influence? Do you agree that our actions are often influenced by our desires and beliefs?
Certainly. Our desires and beliefs guide our choices.
And where do these desires and beliefs come from, Theo?
They are shaped by our experiences, upbringing, and the society we live in.
So, would you say that these factors, experiences, upbringing, and society, are external influences?
Yes, I suppose they are.
If our desires and beliefs which guide our choices are shaped by external influences, can we truly say our choices are free from these influences?
I see your point. But even if our desires and beliefs are influenced, we still have the capacity to choose between different actions.
Can you choose your desires freely, Theo?
I would say that while we cannot choose our desires directly, we can choose how we act upon them.
But how we choose to act upon our desires is inherently tied to the desires themselves. If we cannot freely choose our desires and these desires influence our actions, then our actions are ultimately influenced by desires we did not choose.
Oh, but what if my desires were chosen at random? And since randomness implies no prior influence, would then they be free?
Earlier you clarified free will as the power to make choices independently of any external forces or constraints. Yet now you propose leaving your choices to randomness, effectively taking that power out of your hands. This randomness is incompatible with your definition of free will.
I see. Appealing to randomness wouldn't help here because my actions wouldn't be guided by my own discretion, but by randomness, which is not the free will I was arguing for.
Indeed, it appears that whether influenced by external factors or randomness, our choices may not be as free as you initially perceived. Let's consider a scenario. Imagine a man who is extremely hungry and finds himself before two doors, one with a feast and one empty. Which door is he more likely to choose?
Naturally, he would choose the door with the feast.
Why so, Theo?
Because his hunger compels him to seek food.
Precisely. His choice is influenced by his hunger, an internal state he did not choose. Can we then say his choice was made with complete free will, independent of any influence?
Perhaps not entirely. His hunger certainly played a significant role.
Now consider this. A person raised in a society that teaches stealing is immoral and helping others is moral. If he must choose between stealing and helping someone, which is he more likely to choose?
He would choose to help someone.
Because he's influenced by his upbringing and societal teachings?
Yes.
Now, think of a poor student deciding on a career. If their family insists on a financially secure job over their passion, which are they likely to choose?
The financially secure job.
Because of family pressure and financial concerns?
Exactly. It seems our choices do appear to be influenced by various factors beyond our control when you put it like that.
Indeed. While we can choose, our choices are influenced by many external and internal factors. Earlier you mentioned that the ultimate decision rests with us, yet these examples show that external influences significantly shape our decisions. This suggests our will is not as free and independent as you initially believed. Let's examine further. Do you believe that it is just you who possesses free will, or do all humans possess it?
No, not just me. I believe all humans possess it. Each of us has the ability to choose our actions and shape our destiny.
Then let us consider that all humans possess free will. If each person has the ability to make choices independently, what happens when the will of one person conflicts with the will of another?
I suppose conflicts would arise, and individuals would need to negotiate or resolve their differences.
Indeed. Now consider a scenario where two people, each exercising their free will, desire the same unique object, yet both cannot have it. For instance, let's say both desire to govern a city. How would this conflict be resolved?
It would depend on the circumstances. They might compete for the position, or the citizens might choose one over the other.
And if the desired outcome is not reached for one of them, can we say that the person who did not get their way exercised their free will fully? And if the desired outcome is not reached for one of them, can we say that the person who did not get their way was limited in exercising his free will fully?
Perhaps, as their desired choice was thwarted by another's will or circumstances.
So in a world where all humans possess free will, would we expect their free will to be limited or constrained by others?
No, that would seem contradictory. This wouldn't be the free will I had imagined.
If one person's free will can limit another's, can we say everyone truly has complete free will?
It appears not. The interaction of multiple free wills seems to create certain limitations. I feel overwhelmed, and as if I've lost control over my actions now that I realize my ignorance. This realization makes me anxious. I don't know what to do.
Theo, acknowledging our ignorance is the first step toward wisdom. None of us chose the hour of our birth or the conditions of our early life. From our first breath, our paths have been influenced by those before us. Instead of feeling overwhelmed, use this realization for growth. Understanding these influences on your choices can help you make more conscious decisions. Living under false beliefs might feel comforting, but it can hinder your pursuit of truth and goodness. Would you want to live a lie that does more harm? Oh, break through these unhelpful barriers and pursue true wisdom so life can be navigated as best as it can be.